round of the best-of-3 series could perhaps end here tonight. Ironically, in one of Minecraft's most historic game mode, you're looking live at the Minecraft Tumble Battle, the best-of-3 series round 2 is SoberSwine landing hard. Early on in this matchup, excuse me, that's ChunkDinky. Welcome to TGW Minecraft Edition. SoberSwine on top, AdrianTheVoice at GameStop and getting set to call the match between ChunkDinky and SoberSwine. Speaking about SoberSwine, the former Tumble Champion, hoping to win back the title soon. SoberSwine falling through right now in this matchup. Both men picking up the momentum they needed this match. The rivalry has heated up, and the matchup was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, but it never happened. SoberSwine had no desire in battling for the championship at that time. Instead, we're having it tonight. We are pumped up for this matchup, and there you see now, ChunkDinky picking up the momentum. The first round goes for Chunk. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the second round. The rules are simple. You're going to have to make your opponent fall underneath the blocks, as we saw moments ago. ChunkDinky picked up the victory in the first round. ChunkDinky needs 2 more points against the challenger SoberSwine, but an extremely confident SoberSwine with his boost of ego at his side, realizing that his window of opportunity to get back into the title picture is tonight. The question is, will he seize it? And I'm sure these two players are going to give it each other all they can handle and then some. So it's ChunkDinky versus SoberSwine, two of the hottest Minecraft players we have in TGW today. SoberSwine has stated in the past that he's going to beat ChunkDinky. In fact, he's been training for this matchup. He's also stated on a number of different occasions that Chunk doesn't deserve to be the Tumble Champion. That Chunk, as you see these two going at it, Chunk isn't proud of his credentials and accomplishments. I disagree with that. I know how proud ChunkDinky is of his achievements. SoberSwine going to the other side of the map right now. These two going at it at this point in time. And again, ChunkDinky has momentum on his side, considering the fact that he won the first round. Wait a minute, spoke too soon. SoberSwine picks up the second victory. We just saw SoberSwine picked up the victory right there. It's a one-on-one situation. The first man to reach to 3 points will win this matchup. Now, remember, ChunkDinky did win the matchup, and we have to understand for ChunkDinky, he needs to pick up the victory against SoberSwine here tonight to retain the title. However, for SoberSwine, he's going to have to pick up the victory to actually continue this matchup. Let's not forget, the first man to reach to 2 points in terms of the whole matchup itself will become the Tumble Champion. This matchup all came about a couple of months ago when ChunkDinky actually challenged SoberSwine in the best-of-3 Tumble Championship. Now, ChunkDinky, though, has all the momentum on his side. Why? Because he's the Tumble Battle and Glider Champion. But hey, not for nothing, SoberSwine is an impressive player. You got to understand that. Remember, SoberSwine was a champion before. Let's not forget that. As you see now, ChunkDinky whipped across the map, into the spot, shot to the blocks, and when Chunk is able to quicken the pace like this, it favors the champion. SoberSwine on the other side, these two going at it. This is a 3-layer matchup in the historic Tumble Dome, where the great group known as Mojang called home for Tumble minigames for so many years. Minecraft coming out back in 2012, half a decade of gameplay here. But I'll tell you, considering the fact that SoberSwine doesn't have a point in the series, when does frustration begin to build for the challenger against the champion ChunkDinky, who's actually on top of the layer right now? SoberSwine throwing those snowballs, and this is going to be pretty interesting. Consider the fact that the snowballs can be quite effective. It can actually break the balls, and SoberSwine right now, there you see the opportunistic SoberSwine trying to pick up the victory, trying to get back out of the title hunt here right now. Remember, SoberSwine needs to beat ChunkDinky in order for this match to continue, because ChunkDinky only has 1 more point to actually pick up the victory for the Tumble Championship. SoberSwine, on the other hand, well, not looking so good right now, but both men do have 1 point, considering the fact that you have to have 2 more points to actually pick up the victory in terms of this Tumble game. While ChunkDinky running around right now against SoberSwine, it seems that SoberSwine, the challenger, going against the Tumble Champion. It is about the Tumble Championship gold here tonight in a 3-layer matchup. ChunkDinky, the challenger, versus the champion. And you got to understand that both of these gentlemen are going to do all they can to win this matchup. And you have to understand, and just like that, there you see now, ChunkDinky regains control as well as SoberSwine. These two are actually giving each other some separation to perhaps re-strategize, reassess the situation, what's going on between both of these gentlemen involved. That is the question we perhaps are wondering, though. When does frustration begin to build for SoberSwine, considering, again, he did lose to ChunkDinky a couple of times before. We saw that happen a couple of weeks ago. And there you see now both gentlemen falling through. This is the final layer, and if these two gentlemen fall again, they will lose in this round, as ChunkDinky and SoberSwine. SoberSwine's doing a pretty good job right now, isolating himself from ChunkDinky, and that's exactly what we want to try to do in this matchup. Isolation tactics. ChunkDinky looking around right now, running through the blocks right now. From behind, though, it's SoberSwine throwing the snowballs, affected by ChunkDinky. Now, ChunkDinky is trying to reassess the situation right now, but SoberSwine is continuing this aggression, this assault against the champion Chunk. And you know, for SoberSwine, he's going to do all he can to recapture that title. He wants to be the champion again. He's going to do all he can in this matchup, and it seems that ChunkDinky is actually, well, he's having fun with his opponent. He's mocking his opponent. As SoberSwine, it seems that he is continuing the isolation tactic. He's breaking the blocks, and it seems that he's trying to stay away from Chunk. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to do, though. Can't quite figure out the strategy of the challenger. ChunkDinky go Going to the other side, there you see SoberSwine and ChunkDinky meeting each other again. And again, ladies and gentlemen, the Tumble Championship on the line. Who's going to win it for this round? ChunkDinky with 1 point as opposed to SoberSwine with another point right now. SoberSwine and ChunkDinky. These two gentlemen, as mentioned, the two hottest players in TGW today. You can only imagine here the Tumble Dome, the Tumble Championship, the historic map being shown tonight, a part of the matchup. ChunkDinky, though, backing up for a quick second as well, SoberSwine. SoberSwine boasting for the past couple of weeks that he's been the better player, that he doesn't believe that ChunkDinky's the proud champion. Again, I disagree with Sober's comments, as SoberSwine, though, standing on top of the break and now going through, and it seems that ChunkDinky, though, oh my, he may have won that point, and he does. ChunkDinky needs 1 more point to retain the championship. Coming up next, ChunkDinky versus SoberSwine. This is the 4th matchup, ladies and gentlemen. There you see the champion ChunkDinky has all the momentum on his side because he defeated SoberSwine twice into this matchup. SoberSwine only has 1 point. However, you do not want to count out SoberSwine. Again, not for nothing. He's a great competitor. We've seen it in the past. He was a former champion. Let's not forget that. A former Tumble champion. ChunkDinky now looking on. But speaking about ChunkDinky, he's the Battle, Tumble, and Glider champion. A 3 Triple Crown champion here, part of the matchup. SoberSwine backing up as well as SoberSwine, and you gotta understand for SoberSwine, he's gonna try to do all he can to try to pick up the victory against ChunkDinky, the legendary Chunk. One can argue, ChunkDinky may very well be the greatest Minecraft player of all time. Nonetheless, though, SoberSwine continues the assault. The snowballs across the map as ChunkDinky is approaching his opponent right now, trying to break the blocks on SoberSwine for SoberSwine to fall, but it's not gonna happen right here, right now. Out of frustration, desperation, tactics beginning to build for both of these men in intensive style here in this match. It is about the Tumble Championship in this matchup here tonight. And many people are rooting for ChunkDinky all while SoberSwine wants to get adoration of the fans. I'm going to get to that way, as mentioned before. And I mean, not for nothing, SoberSwine, an impressive competitor. He's been showing some impressive tactics here tonight. But I'm not quite sure if it's going to be enough to combat the offensive style of ChunkDinky, as ChunkDinky right now on the other side of the map, and it seems that SoberSwine yet again to the final layer is falling through. This may very well be the end of SoberSwine, perhaps. SoberSwine is not going to give up. There's ChunkDinky, though, on top of the layer. It seems that he's having quite fun. It's ChunkDinky, the champion. But the way he's been acting for the past few months is SoberSwine. I mean, stating that he's the greatest Minecraft player of all time, that he's bragging. Nobody likes a bragger, that's for sure. SoberSwine has to win this matchup to prove to himself, not just to himself, but to also all the fans. As ChunkDinky, I thought for a quick second Chunk may have fallen there. But again, SoberSwine has to prove it to himself that he is a great Tumble player. ChunkDinky falling through. SoberSwine with 2 points. ChunkDinky with 2 points. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tumble Championship on the line. Who's going to win it next? Ladies and gentlemen, what an impressive matchup here tonight. It is the Tumble Championship. It is all about the Tumble Championship tonight. The best of 3 series. Now remember, ChunkDinky needs to defeat SoberSwine in order to retain the title champion. But you got to understand, for SoberSwine, on the other hand, he needs to defeat ChunkDinky in order for this matchup to continue. The best of 3 series. The first gentleman to actually pick up the 2 points in the series will become the champion. SoberSwine and ChunkDinky continue the assault right now. Both gentlemen involved into this matchup, battling in the historic Tumble Matchup Dome here on Minecraft. A part of the Gaming Weekly, 2 of the hottest Minecraft players we have today in this matchup. SoberSwine going to the other side of the map, as well as ChunkDinky approaching his opponent right now. You got to understand, for ChunkDinky, it seems that Chunk is trying to ground his opponent, and that's exactly what he just did right there. Grounding SoberSwine, and SoberSwine has been grounded yet again, and SoberSwine is in trouble right now, folks, because SoberSwine needs 1 more layer. If he falls 1 more layer, then he's going to lose the title right now. ChunkDinky continue the assault on top. SoberSwine on the other side, looking up above. His opponent is actually destroying, manhandling Mr. Chunk, and I'll tell you, ChunkDinky, he needs to reassess the situation right now, though, because he realizes he has Sober where he wants it. He's in the last spot right now. He's in the last layer. If ChunkDinky is able, he may very well can win this if he continues the assault, but you see SoberSwine, though, he's backing up. He's actually reassessing the situation of himself, and it seems that, well, there you go, ChunkDinky falling through. So, ladies and gentlemen, both gentlemen have 2 points. Whoever loses in this round, well, the opponent will win. As you see, the showdown has begun, and I believe that's when snowballs begin to pick up right now. The momentum on each side, both gentlemen right now. The pressure begins to build, and you can only understand what's going through the minds of both gentlemen. Again, both gentlemen have 2 points. Whoever reaches to 3 points will indeed pick up the victory into this matchup. The Tumble Championship on the line. SoberSwine the boaster against the champion ChunkDinky again. And for SoberSwine, he needs to prove it to himself and the fans that he can indeed win the big one. SoberSwine for the past couple of months been stating that he's the greatest Minecraft player. ChunkDinky, though, we've seen him in the past. Tumble, Glider, Battle Champion. Tonight, though, these two are battling right now. And SoberSwine jumping through, both men, gentlemen, of course, battling out with snowballs right now. And for ChunkDinky, he needs to retain the champion in order to continue his title reign. But SoberSwine to the other map, and you know SoberSwine, he's relentless. He's going to do all he can to win this matchup. He wants to defeat Chunk, to prove it to Chunk that he can defeat the big one right now. As SoberSwine is actually staying away from ChunkDinky. ChunkDinky trying to ground the opponent yet again. SoberSwine almost falling through, and it seems that ChunkDinky again trying to reset the situation here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, you can only imagine what's going to the mind of ChunkDinky right now, considering the fact that he wants to retain the title right now, going against SoberSwine, and SoberSwine's in trouble right now. SoberSwine jumping around, and that's exactly what you want to try to do. Keep jumping around in this matchup. And for ChunkDinky, though, the champion, trying to retain the championship only for the Tumble Championship. Both men are on the edge of the map. Who's going to fall here right now? Who's going to fall? Who's going to fall? Who's going to win? SoberSwine. Oh, wait a minute. He's in a precarious situation. He being ChunkDinky. ChunkDinky almost falling through yet again. ChunkDinky getting pushed off by the sub. It looks like SoberSwine wins it. SoberSwine wins it. SoberSwine picked up the victory. Ladies and gentlemen, SoberSwine just proved to all of us that he can indeed pick up the victory, that he can indeed win the big one. SoberSwine just defeated ChunkDinky, but it's not over. Now remember, ChunkDinky has 1 point as opposed to SoberSwine, who has 1 point. Both gentlemen need 1 more point to win the Tumble Series, the Tumble Championship on the line, ladies and gentlemen. We saw SoberSwine somehow, some way, he captivated, he capitalized, and somehow defeated the legend ChunkDinky. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see these two battle for the last time next Wednesday. Next Wednesday here on Minecraft, it's going to be ChunkDinky going against SoberSwine for the Tumble Championship. The winner of that match will be the Tumble Champion. We cannot wait. Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw moments ago, SoberSwine defeated ChunkDinky. We cannot wait. Next Wednesday, the Tumble Championship on the line. Chunk with 1 point, Sober with 1 point. Whoever gets the next point will win. Well, Sober, many people, including myself, didn't believe that you can defeat Chunk. How you feeling?
I told you, AdrianTheVoice. For all of you non-believers, I can win the big one. I can beat anybody. Why? Because I'm the best player.
Well, you continue to boast around, but next Wednesday, if you win the matchup, you may very well back it up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we go off air, we cannot wait, because this weekend, someone is returning, and apparently this certain someone is not happy. We're going to find out who.